All right, listen up. I do not like this movie.
Wait a second.
We're starting off here.
Bring my sound up a bit. I can't hear myself.
Brother, oh, Jesus Christ, you've ruined it already. What are you number? Is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
That's better. All right. This is what we're going to do today. I'm going to tell you the budget was 9 million. The box office was 48 million. We're doing Midsommar.
Yeah,
This is the movie. We're here.
We're here.
Right? I'm going to hear about how you're going to escape this thing. Then I'm going to tell you all the things that I didn't like about the movie and why I feel like this is going to stay with me for the rest of my life. And then if we've got time, you can talk about whatever you felt.
Yeah.
And we're here.
Let's do just some IMDb's, and what we'll do is we're going to come at this with a real positive mindset. We're doing growth mindset this
Brother,
year.
I watched this for 3 hours yesterday. This is not a growth mindset.
This is growth mindset. You know, some people have fixed mindsets. We're moving towards growth, so we're going to approach this with that growth. Because look, if by the end of the movie you're saying, oh yeah, you know, I like this part of it, then there'll be hands thrown live on air. Because you came in with the wrong energy from the start. We got to bring with the growth mindset.
This is the correct energy. This is the correct energy.
So this got the 7.1 out of 10 on the IMDb. It's got the 83% on the Rotten Tomatoes, 3.8 out of 5 on Letterboxd. A couple travelled to Sweden to visit their friend's rural hometown for its fabled Midsommar festival. But what begins as an idyllic retreat quickly devolves into an increasingly violent and bizarre competition at the hands of a pagan cult. And we're here.
I mean, we've been here.
Look, I think that without, you know, if I was to jump into how I'm going to escape this from the start, I don't think that the people would get enough context. So why don't we jump into the things that you disliked about it first? Because we hit that early, we get the bad, you know, it's the sandwich. We hit them with the bread first. That's the good stuff. We hit them with the, you know, there's stuff in the middle that people don't want to eat. Then we hit them with the bread at the end. That's the good stuff.
So I'm going to be hitting them with the not good stuff.
It's the feces sandwich is what I'm trying to say. Let's hear what you have thought. Now, this is my second time viewing this movie. Just as a bit of context, we watched this because it's in the same vein as The Wicker Man. And some would say it's a far better movie than The Wicker Man. Some would say it's not a better movie. Some would say that they wish they never watched it. And one of those, maybe even two of those opinions might prevail and show their faces here today. We're going to see. So let's talk about what you thought. Now, I'll also add some context. This energy's been here since I walked through the door. I arrived at the house. I'm dehydrated.
I've been upset since I finished watching this movie.
But I'm dehydrated, so I wasn't ready for such energy. And you can't see it in here, but it's beautiful. It's almost a summer's day. And the breeze is stupendous.
Well, let me set the scene from yesterday, because I watched this yesterday. It was a Saturday.
Yep.
Right? And we're talking, it's the end of August. So it's between winter and spring.
So really, we're hitting.
This is peak weather. This is peak weather because you've just had the cold weather, and you've been there. You've been layered up. You've been triple jacketing it up, and it's been cold. And then it turns into, oh, okay, spring's coming. So those are the best days. You know, because your expectation is it's going to be 5 degrees in the morning, and then you get a day of 20 degrees,
which it was yesterday. It was a nice,
the sun was shining,
sunny day.
It was fantastic.
I was out playing football and I almost passed out on the field because I was I haven't experienced this heat in so long.
Yeah, and someone hit you in the head.
Yeah, that came as well. And I didn't know which one was first though.
Yeah,
so it's sort of a chicken or the egg.
It's the chicken or the egg. It's the CTE or the clear blue sky.
That's exactly right.
Which is I don't know, another acronym. So it was a nice day. And I was out in the morning.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And then I came home about, let's say, 1:30 o'clock.
Yep.
It's still sun. Yeah. It's still sunny. It's nice. I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'll go for a walk. Oh, I got to watch this movie. Let's see how long it is. 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah. I had to double screen this.
2 hours and 50 minutes, right?
I had to double screen this.
I've been doing this. I've been going to be watching this until Midsommar.
That's right.
That's how long it is.
It's a long movie. I will give you that.
So I'm sitting there looking out my window, looking at the daylight fading, and I'm just watching this movie.
Yeah.
And I look outside, and I look at the movie. I look outside, I look at the movie, and then the screen goes black and I just see my reflection in my computer screen.
Yeah. You see Florence Pugh come up.
Yeah. That also pissed me off when you sent me that joke. That made me so mad.
Hey, listen, I'm going to just stick up for Midsommar here. The fact that you watched it on the best day of 2023 so far is your fault. Midsommar didn't say, hey, watch me today.
No, because there was other reasons about this movie that I didn't like.
Other reasons I'm fine with, but you can't blame the day.
I can blame the day.
You can't blame the day.
I can blame it.
You know, Mother Nature said, like, here's a day, and you didn't take advantage of it. You could have watched Midsommar as Scorsese intended it on your walk on your phone.
Brother, I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have done that.
You could have listened to it and you still would have got the harrowing effects of this movie.
Not really.
I mean, for certain scenes, you would have been like, there's something going on here. It's in my pocket, but there's something going on.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can hear that there's something going on. You can hear that there's something going on.
Oh, dude. And look, we'll save the Florence Pugh joke for the Patreon because, like, there's content there.
There's content. I did not get that until after the movie. After the movie.
And so, you know, I'll hit you with something that will hit you later. And I could actually tell you the funny thing about Vincent's frustrations with this movie is I could tell you probably the second that you finished it. Because I can't even read it live here. I'm going to have to read it on the Patreon because there's swear words in it. And we keep it family friendly over here.
And it's profanity on the Patreon only.
It's profanity on the Patreon because we get paid. It's the triple Ps.
That's right. Yeah, it's this movie annoyed me.
Let's get into it.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you my feeling after this movie as well. So after this movie, I felt upset.
This is a movie that stays with you in many different ways, and we'll get into some of those.
This stayed with me, and as far as horror movie goes, this is probably the most horrific I've ever watched.
I'll be real with you. It is, and this is Ari Aster's very own. This is the same man that did Hereditary, a movie that we have watched, a movie that Vincent enjoyed, but didn't find it as
I didn't think
horrifying.
It was scary. No, it wasn't scary. Well, because look, you got demons, you got stuff like that. I can look at that and go, this is a film.
This is a film. That's right.
I'm watching this and I'm thinking,
this is too close to reality.
Man, what's worse, like the inevitability of death, or if you were just alive forever? Like, which one's worse? Yeah, and you think about that for too long, you don't know. You really don't know. And that's what kept me up last night.
But is everyone alive forever? I'm like, do you have a mortgage?
I mean, I didn't go into specifics. I was just thinking, man, I'm alive. And, how does that look? How does that look mentally? How does that look physically? I'm sitting here, stars and suns are exploding. I'm looking at it, I'm just going, I'm here.
You're here. You're like, what's his name from Watchmen? You sit on the moon, you're saying I'm here.
That's right. But, the moon's not there.
That's right. So you're just sitting in space. I'm
just sitting in space, and you're just looking at that, and you're just going.
And you're like, I can't even play Zelda now because like my Switch went with the moon.
My Switch went with the moon. So this movie actually kind of made me feel a bit sick after.
I mean, look, there's areas of this movie that would make you feel sick. And then there's areas of this movie that will make you feel bright, and we'll get into the brightness. And it's a beautiful summer's day. The breeze is stupendous, but
there
was
no brightness in this movie.
I mean, that's the thing, though.
The only thing that was bright in this movie was because it was set in Sweden in midsummer, and so there ain't no moon.
Isn't that what's fantastic about this movie?
That is one of the great things about this movie.
Yeah.
I still didn't like this movie, and I'd never want to watch it again. But
we'll get into it.
I mean, we're getting into it. I'm getting into it. I'm talking about it. You don't have to tell them that we're getting into it. You don't have to watch this. You can put this on the background, audio only, and you'll get the harrowing effects of, the thoughts of if you were just alive for all eternity.
I mean, the alive for all eternity part didn't. I mean, that's just where you were at? Not from this movie. You didn't grab a theme from the movie that I didn't see.
I mean, there were themes on death, obviously, in this movie that made me think about that. And that's something that I've always got in the back of my mind, because it could be today.
Like, you see a man, get hit in the head with a big hammer, and then you'll be like, that could be me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like on some Donkey Kong business.
Jesus Christ. I don't know if I'm assuming they're visual effects. They obviously didn't hit a dude in the head with a hammer, but you got to give kudos for that.
Now, this is a $9 million movie.
That's what I'm thinking.
You know what I'm saying? I
was looking at that. I'm going, that's $9 million. They squeezed every penny out of that.
Yeah, man.
And maybe they don't pay the writers. Maybe that's why. But I mean, Ari Aster wrote it.
Ari Aster wrote and directed. Ari Aster showed that you can make a good looking movie on a small budget.
Well, there wasn't a lot of, Yeah, it wasn't a spectacle. It was just you set it in a picturesque place.
I mean, but what if what happened when you saw like some of the flowers going like woo, 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 like moving like that? Were you like, man, that's special effects?
Yeah, that part of it kind of. I mean, yeah, I get it was to symbolize that they're tripping, and that's fine because I'll wear an acid rap t-shirt, for 3 weeks straight. But I don't need to see the trees just. At a certain point, it just got here. And I was looking at, because I don't look at anything after I watch a movie, ever.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if a movie finishes and there's 15 questions that I got to answer.
Or 21 if you're 50. And I mean 50 cents specifically.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I never look at stuff after this movie, after movies. Because, I think the last time I can remember was when Inception came out. And it was like, hey, did the spinning top fall or did it not? Is it real or is it a dream?
Is it his ring or is it not?
That's right. And, then I became an older and wiser man because I started this podcast.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, it does matter.
It does matter?
It doesn't matter.
That's exactly right.
It doesn't matter.
You take what you can from a movie and you leave.
That's right. The questions are the best part. But this movie, I needed answers because I needed to have some sort of reason for why this movie was made, and I watched it for 2 hours and 50 minutes. Because I'm telling you, I was like sick. I was sitting around my house and I didn't know what I was doing.
Like not even Weespix could like ease your pain.
Brother, I was looking left, I was looking right. I was thinking it's 5 o'clock, I'm going to go to bed.
And even though it's not Midsommar, like it's still bright here at 5.
Because I just wanted to finish the day. I just didn't want to do anything. I was watching cartoons. Like cartoons.
Yeah, like SpongeBob.
I was watching that.
What'd you watch?
I watched Daria.
Okay.
I was watching
That's more like adult cartoons.
Yeah, but it's still cartoons.
It's still cartoons. And I mean, we're not going to get into adult cartoons. We might do that on the Patreon.
But I'm just saying that's a safe space for me. I'll just watch cartoons and that's it. But I'm thinking.
And you look like you could be in Daria as well. Are you look like a head that could be in Daria?
You just got the same thing every day.
You just got a specific style about you. That I think fits with that, with those characters.
Sure. Well, I'll ask them if they can SFX special effects me in. Mm-hmm. But I was watching that, and all I could think about was Midsommar. All I could think about was specific scenes in that movie, and I was just, I was upset.
Okay. Do we? Because we got to rattle them off. We got to rattle off some of the scenes that made you specifically upset, because that's what we do here.
That's what we do here.
Especially in a movie that, I mean, when you coming in. And like there was times when I was on the phone with you and I was laughing, like just knowing that we'd be here, and we are here. But
I didn't think it'd be this. I didn't think this.
Let's talk about it.
To be honest, I felt more uncomfortable during watching The Wicker Man.
You felt more uncomfortable?
Yes.
This doesn't make sense to me. How are you going to feel sick? Yeah, less uncomfortable.
No, because there was not a lot of that discomfort that was in this movie. It was just more horrifying. Right, the one part
like you clutched your pearls more in this movie than you did The Wicker Man.
I didn't clutch any pearls. I'll tell you that much. But the one scene was when
it turned into Smart, like it was Smart.com. When it turned into Smart,
because that lady's meant to be 15. That girl.
Oh yes, there's.
But like I was looking at it, I'm going, this is not right.
You had to search up after to make sure she won 15. They legally can't do that.
Legally, no, they can't do that. But to have that in a movie and show all of it,
yeah,
you can 100%. Ari Aster obviously knows how to direct films.
100%, because you get like all the ladies around and they're all naked, and then Ari Aster's behind the camera and he's just like making noises now, and people making noises.
But that scene didn't need to have the in the movie child naked.
Right.
That didn't have to happen, because I'm looking at that and I'm thinking like this is almost a criminal offense.
But the purpose of that is to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, but you don't need to have all of that. It's already uncomfortable. It's already.
You're thinking that it was like you're in those movies where they say this is a gory film, and it gets to that point where it's like there's too much gore going on here that it's now just lost its purpose.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I can see that,
because there was. That just makes me feel really uneasy that they're portraying a child there.
Right. And you know what? We don't live in the cult pagan lifestyle, but like they might be doing this sort of stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if they're doing that. That's illegal.
It is
That's illegal and it's disgusting.
I mean, also like killing old folk is legal as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't kill the old folk. The old folk just jumped.
I mean, one guy, he was. I mean,
that was a mercy kill. Donkey Kong got the hammer out. He was going, well, I can either give him bananas or the hammer.
That the scene in particular is very much a. Now I agree with Vincent on this part. I agree with him.
Honestly, I thought that was awful. I thought because
you could have even shown just the opening part of it where he walks into the door. He's looking like a stub mullet.
Frankenbeans. You could have seen from his back looking towards his back,
and you see all the older ladies.
Yeah, so you know what's happening. You don't need to have. I just think that's too far. That's a line that you just don't cross.
Look, that's 100%. That's 100% a valid point.
Yeah,
that's 100% a valid point. And obviously, Ari Aster was going for like we're going because like
if I'm a federale and I'm looking at that movie,
yeah. You can't arrest anyone for that movie.
No, but I'm putting Ari Aster on like a watch list.
I mean, Ari Aster. I mean, you watch this movie, you've got to put Ari Aster on something.
You will, but
like you might put him on the best new directors list, which I think he was, or you might put him on a watch list.
I'll put him on a watch list,
and it might be the Letterboxd watch list, like watch Ari Aster's movies, because
it's watch his internet search history, because you got to be careful.
I wonder, did you search up like what gave Ari Aster the idea of like paganism?
No, I just looked up Midsommar.
As in the festival.
I just looked up Midsommar. That's all. Okay. I DuckDuckGo'd it.
Yeah.
That's all I did.
Yeah.
And I just, hey, there's some symbolism and whatever, and that's fine. It's fine. And I watched a video of 10 things you only see the second time you watch Midsommar. Half of them were like, hey, brother, they made that so obvious. If you didn't see that the first time,
like you saw the lady in the tree.
I didn't see that in the what's it called.
I didn't see that in the thing either.
But that was a dumb idiot thing there. Like, I don't. She was in the tree. Like, what?
No, I don't think that's a dumb idiot part. And I'll say why. I'll say why that's not a dumb idiot part. But
what it wasn't a dumb idiot part was when Mans are saying, like, I lost both my parents in a fire. I was an orphan, and then directly after they barbecue in the two old heads
because that's the parents he lost in the fire.
I mean, that's obvious, but that's I mean, if you didn't get that.
I mean, are you saying that's dumb idiot stuff?
No, that's not dumb idiot stuff.
You're just saying that's foreshadowing for like the later burning.
That's not foreshadowing. That's just, hey, my parents died in a fire. I know exactly how you feel. And then you see them getting like roasted.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see people getting roasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go, okay, well, I can see what may have happened.
And I mean, at the end of the day, like they look sad when those people were roasting in the fire. Let's get into some other scenes that are.
I can't get the
image of the girl in your head.
Not the girl. That one I don't. I think I've mentally blocked that out. The shot of the dude while he was in the act, and he's just cooked out of his brain.
He doesn't look in a good space.
Oh, that's terrifying. That is a terrifying scene. Just his face there, and his pupils are.
Dude, they made his pupils like his eyes were black at that point.
Oh man.
Yeah. Was there? I mean, that scene. Obviously, there is some movies where there's a scene that will, they say, hey, you got to watch this for this scene. But this is one of those movies where you don't really want to watch that scene.
No,
I totally agree with what you're saying.
It was hilarious straight after when Mans is running out and he's just got the Frankenbeans and they're just like the Frank is just flopping left to right.
And like, look, we here at the Back Catalogue, we advocate for the Frankenbeans, and like this is a win for us.
No, I'm glad that they put that in as well as because I feel like if you just like the Wicker Man,
that's right.
I'm looking at that, I'm like, this is exploitation. I feel like I'm exploiting.
But if you got everyone doing it, if everyone's naked, no one's naked.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Like if everyone lives forever, no one lives forever.
That's right. And also, like you see a Frankenbean, you usually see a Frankenbean like static. But to see a Frankenbean on the move,
I mean, that's comedy. That's comedy. Because also at the start he wasn't holding it.
That's the funniest part about that scene is that he's naked.
Yeah,
he's running out. He's naked. He sees people. He's like he freezes and then he cups his Frankenbeans. Then he starts running cupped with the Frankenbeans.
So the other scenes that
like doth he have no shame? Is what they're probably thinking to themselves, or at least that's what he thinks they're thinking.
I mean, he's in no shame. He's just done.
Yeah, I mean, he's just done vile things.
Yeah. The other scenes that have stuck with me is the man that's been butterflied in the chicken coop.
Yeah.
That was.
I mean, that's just like showing like,
Yeah, but
they killed a man and
That's right.
his lungs are still breathing, but it's actually the acid.
and I'm not a man that watches horror movies, but I haven't seen something like that in that detail before.
Yeah.
Things like that. Things like
On a $9 million budget.
on a $9 million budget, even when the lady falls and her head it hits the rock.
And he just splats.
Nah, that's jeez, man. That, and then when the dude's taking pictures of the
book.
And then his mate comes in and he's naked and his face
ain't naked.
isn't he?
Nah, dude.
I thought he had didn't have a bottom.
He had his penis cut off and there's just blood all over his pants.
Okay. I just saw his face and it was just, I don't know, man.
Because he's dead.
Is he?
That's not his friend. That's a man with the friend's skin on his face.
So which one was his friend? Did
His friend
come
dead.
in?
Yeah, no. His friend died early in the movie. You don't see it, right?
Yeah,
he
that's
just
right.
goes missing. Okay. Then a man with the friend's skin on his body.
Yeah, that's what I
Leatherface style comes through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you know he's got his frank cut off?
Because like he's just got blood all over his franken areas.
But I thought you said he was dead.
He dead, but that's his pants. Not the guy that's walked in. His franks could be there. His frank might not be there. I didn't check on his.
You
frank.
didn't check his frank,
But
he's
the
got his
friend's
friend's
frank.
pants.
He's got the friend's pants on.
Okay,
and there's blood all over the frank.
I didn't check which version of Levi's, if it was either 504 or the 514. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, he had. I think he had the 514.
I think that's the things that you only see in the third watching of Midsommar.
In the you got to see the branding in the third watch.
You got to see the branding. You got to see the Levi's.
Can we just talk about the characters just for a second?
I'm getting so anxious just thinking about this movie.
Let's not go into specific scenes. Let's just talk about the characters in this movie because I think that this. I mean, Ari Aster's a great writer. We've seen it. We've seen it with Toni Collette's very own. We've seen it with the with Hereditary and how well that movie was written, but also how well the characters sort of fit within that world. There is nothing more hilarious to me than that group of friends. They are just the worst people ever. And they've been written for that reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like they're the worst because some scrubber wrote it who doesn't really know what real people are like. This is because this man knows that there's that group of guy friends rolling around and he portrayed them perfectly. Like, they don't actually like each other. They just like the experiences that they're going with each other, which is eating mushrooms.
That's right. They're eating mushrooms.
Smoking resin.
Three of them doing the same kind of degrees. So I think it's just a situational thing.
And they're trying to steal from each other as well.
That was funny.
I think that, and one of the reasons why these main characters die in quite brutal ways is because they're not good people. And it's meant to give you as the viewer, maybe you're a listener if you're going for a walk Scorsese style, but you're the viewer usually watching this movie. It's to give you that bit of like, I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit mixed on how I feel right now because this man who's now in a bear suit getting burnt, yeah, he shouldn't really be in a bear suit getting burnt, but also the way that he's treated his partner throughout this entirety of this movie, he deserves to be in a bear suit getting burnt.
So you're saying the death penalty should be upheld?
I mean,
in
so
the
long
state
as it's
of, South Australia.
So long as it's a bear suit and you're.
Yeah. No, see that. Yeah, anyone dying just makes me feel uncomfortable these days.
But see, here's the thing, man's ain't really dead. In
we
real life.
don't know that. Like,
I mean, he could have been.
I haven't seen him since Midsommar.
It is only a $9 million budget, so like they could have been doing Snuff and Smart all in the same.
Because then they wouldn't have to pay the heads.
Yeah, that's true. Because they wrote on the dotted line. They thought it was a Smart film, but it actually was a Snuff film. Like someone misread something or someone misspelled something.
I did think he was a good actor, Christian. Something Raynor.
Yeah, because he had his real name as his name in the movie. Is that correct?
No. Oh, I don't know what his real name was. Hold on, let me get this fella.
I believe his name was Christian.
Yeah, Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Florence Pugh said his name really funny.
Yeah.
Christian.
You know what's crazy about Florence Pugh? She's British.
British. Okay.
Does she seem British to you in this movie? That's acting, man. You see people come in and they're Tom Holland types, they're Florence Pugh types.
Yeah, but do I seem like I was okay with this movie?
No.
No, that's acting.
So that means that you were enjoying this movie, what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah, I loved every minute of this movie. What was the man's name? Jack Reynolds.
Jack Reynolds. So his name in the movie was Christian.
Christian Hughes.
Yeah. Christian Hughes.
Yeah, because I think they said his name about, these are all the heads that are going to the chopping block.
Right.
I did think it was funny when they're burning all the heads in the triangle barn, whatever.
Yeah.
And they said, "Hey, dew of the yew tree to feel no pain." And then they're both smiling at each other. And then one of them just yelling.
Dude, that's the scene that horrifies me the most. I mean, obviously there's the other scene, but that's the scene that physically horrifies me the most in this movie. So they put these people in to get burnt, and these two people...
Because they're voluntarily...
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
you're in pagan culture. You're volunteering because you're thinking you're going somewhere else.
That's right.
And you're thinking, in this paganism world, you're thinking you're going somewhere where there's I guess it's just the same thing. I mean, they look like they were living a pretty idyllic lifestyle out in the woods, like all sunshine, rainbows, lollipops.
And flowers.
Yeah.
They do this.
Oh, dude, yeah. And then the grass becomes your feet. That's crazy. But these two guys volunteer, they volunteer as tribute.
Yeah.
And they jump in this barn as it's burning. They're looking at each other smiling. And then one guy starts burning. And even though he has this thing that's meant to stop the pain, it does not stop the pain. And his scream is like, I was looking at the dude, I was like, "Hey, brother, are you actually burning?" And I know that's acting.
That's acting. Because he wasn't actually burning.
And
but we don't know that.
And then I'm thinking about, if I was this other dude, I'd be piecing out of there.
Yeah. But the thing is, they would have known that going in. Everyone out there yelling.
Everyone's been yelling.
Everyone's yelling.
No, but everyone's yelling once they hear him yell.
That's right. So they've done this before. This is not their first rodeo.
But what if it was, though?
What if it was their first rodeo?
What if, not if, well, I mean, it's every 90 years.
So that's another question I had. Is this situation where they got to sacrifice all these heads?
That's 90 years.
That's 90 years. So what do they do every other May?
They just be doing the run around the posts.
They just have old heads jump off the cliff. That's it.
They're just running down the mountain when they come.
Because they said once you get to 72, that's it.
That's it. You're gone.
Which I think it was just coincidental that there was only two there.
I also think it was coincidental that one man looked about 96 and the other lady looked about 43.
I don't know about 43, but she
didn't look old.
She definitely didn't look
she
old.
Looked like she looked like the priest from The Exorcist. She looked like she got the makeup on.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
But maybe they didn't give him enough of that resin, dude, and that's why they're out there screaming.
Jeez.
Can I just let's hit a couple things before we get into the back end of this movie. We're 27 minutes in, and that's a good 27 minutes. And I've enjoyed this 27 minutes because it's been you just rattling off things. Let's do the director's cut. Let's do the director's cut.
What's the director's cut?
As in, you and I, we cut the scene, that one that the way that you said it. Let's cut it like that, right? So I'm taking that part out of it. I like this movie a lot, and I'll tell you why. Because for me, this movie is, I guess it's less of a movie and more of a just an experience. It's a wild ride.
This is not an experience I ever want to have.
Sometimes, this is the thing about film now. This is the thing about we're in the arts here. We do art forms here, right? There is movies and there's songs. You might hear a song. You might be doing basketball. You might be doing singing, and you might get the same feelings. That it's like, this is not as fun as I want my life to be, but I've been taken into a place that I never knew I'd go before. And now I've been taken into this place twice. And I will say, the first viewing I was quite mixed on this. The second viewing of this movie, I really enjoyed this movie. One of the things that I really enjoy about it is because it is so horrifying, but also it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Like, the space that they're in is just so bright. All these white people laughing, singing, dancing. Like, this is what happens when you give, you're just too white. You start killing people. You start throwing people off buildings. But all this stuff's going on, and I'm sitting there thinking, my heart is racing. The goosebumps, the goosies. I got the goosies like the man's from Key and Peele. I've got them. All this stuff, but then at the center of it all, at the center of all this madness, is one of the best performances, of this generation of actors. Florence Pugh out here I don't know why Florence Pugh hasn't got whatever Oscars, whatever Emmys, whatever, any award. I don't know why she hasn't got them. Because she's in the center of this movie for the whole time.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a reason why she is, because there was a reason they brought her in. That man's the guy, the Swedish friend
Hello.
who brought everyone over. He wanted her to come over because he knew she was going to be the Mayflower or the May Queen or whatever it's called. And she comes through and she's just acting, dude. She's going through traumas all throughout this movie.
That first part, which I mean, is that a cold open? Because it was before
that's cold open.
That's
as cold as it gets.
Good. I watched that and I saw I realized they're going to put the title screen here.
Yeah.
And I thought this is the start. They absolutely started this movie. I thought Razorback had the best opening scene of every movie.
Razorback, you can't be Razorback, brother. I'm sorry.
You can't be Razorback.
You can't beat it. You can't beat it, but you also can't beat Razorback. That opening scene.
But this was pretty nuts.
Man's burning his house, he's screaming Razorback. You can't beat that.
Is that Razorback? Yeah. No. Okay. Well, I mean, but anyway, this was a close second.
Yeah.
This was a close second.
And I mean, you get every single emotion from Florence Pugh, and she's pushing her way through all this trauma, all this toxicity of her partner.
Yeah, it makes you feel really upset. I mean, I don't know how if you got to be somewhat knowledgeable about relationship stuff or whatever.
I mean, we're knowledgeable about the relationship to podcasting because we're married to the game.
That's right. Yeah. So I think anyway, seeing her interact with her boyfriend Christian.
Yeah, dude.
That was when she was saying about, my sister and things like that. And then they go to that party and then she's upset because Mans is just...
He's going to Sweden.
He's going to Sweden.
And then she's apologised.
And since she's apologised, I just felt... Because that's abuse.
But that's also reality, unfortunately.
That's right. But that's not... You look at that and you kind of... I feel like as a younger... more naive and not a podcasting man, I would not have looked at that and gone, there's something wrong here. I would have gone, I mean, it's what it is, brother.
I mean, I didn't want to go to Sweden anyway. I mean, and look, when we look at the pre and the post podcasting game, there's naivete in one of those.
That's right.
When, Florence Pugh's going through all these things throughout the movie, when she becomes the May Queen and they put her up on that, or even the May Queen scene when she's doing the dancing around the thing. And she's going through it all. She experiences everything in that scene. And again, this is just showing her range of acting. When she gets, you're the Mayflower, you're the May Queen, and they've taken her to the big
and
table.
Then she
she sees her mum.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, when she
sees her sister. She sees Christiane looking like just scrappy old Christiane. And this is her thing of even though obviously you like when you break up with someone, don't go into a cult, please. That's not what we're saying here. But she is pushing past all those things.
Yeah.
Right. There's the sister in the background on the tree. She's not even looking at the sister in the background on the tree because she's moving past all of that. And you take that as you will. Obviously, people work through those things differently. But in this story, she's moving past that. And then as this movie's ending, when Christiane is in there getting burnt. He's looking like a bear, then he's looking like a bag of bones after, as you see him burning. And it cuts to her, and her face goes from that frown, which, I mean, have you ever seen a person do a frown better than Florence Pugh?
Sure, yeah.
You've seen it. After get up on your laptop, type in Florence Pugh frown, and you'll see that it's the most perfected frown you ever see.
Okay, sure.
And then you see it gradually turn to a smile.
Yeah. She's found her family. That's what I read on some thing.
Well, I was just going to say because she's moved past, she's moved away. She's burnt everything of her past.
Some site was saying, she's watching her former friends die, be burnt alive, and she lost her family, and then she had some dumb idiot family with Mark talking about hey, I want these Swedish milkmaids, because I mean you sit in a car with that dude, You'd want to see him burn alive. Dude, that guy's... And the funniest thing about Will Poulter is that we watched him not but 2 weeks ago. Not but 2 weeks ago.
In the Guardians of the Galaxy. And seeing him less jacked is hilarious. But also I think he's very funny in this movie.
Yeah. But yeah, so then...
Dude, that smile to finish off this movie.
No,
you know how you said you felt Like you felt sick after this.
Yeah.
My immediate thought as this movie ended, regardless of all the horrifying stuff that happened, was I'm smiling at the end of this movie.
I was not smiling at this.
Dude, I smiled at the end of this movie. Then
I
I see Ari Aster's name with flowers in it.
I mean, if you looked at my face at the end of this movie, you would have said Florence Pugh got the second best frown.
What we should have done for the people, is we should have had the cam going while you.
Jeez, man.
If there's ever another Midsommar style movie, like, you know, we might not watch it. But if we do, we need Vincent with the cam. Because, like, you've got, and especially if it's just come out, and we can put that live, like, out to the people, like, live reaction to Midsommar 2, like, more mid, more summer, too mid, too summer, we're going to get hits.
I don't think people want to say that.
Let's give a rating.
I don't want to think people would say that.
Let's give a rating. It can't be rated. It's unrated for you.
I don't know if I can rate this movie. I don't know. I don't even know.
You know, I'm going to have to give this, like, maybe even more than Hereditary.
Well, yeah, Hereditary was whatever. The other thing about it, when she sees Christian in the act,
Yeah.
pre flop and Frank and Beans,
When she's screaming?
and she's screaming and everyone's screaming with her,
Yeah.
that's
a good
scene.
bit.
That's
a good scene, right?
Because it felt like, you know, obviously she's letting it out,
Yeah.
but she's got people to help
To get it out with her.
to feel that with her.
All the
And I was just
milkmaids.
thinking,
As Will Poulter says, I'm just taking Will Poulter's words. I'm using it.
but that scene, I was just thinking, man, I feel like it'd be really cathartic to just be yelling
Oh, yeah.
and someone yelling with matching your emotion like that.
And you're doing eye contact with them the whole time.
That'd be uncomfortable for me.
That's the part that's uncomfortable.
That would be uncomfortable for me.
What about if you drank some sort of like distilled or spring water with like properties in it and you went, like
They were
that?
100% absolutely loaded this whole film.
Dude, it's wild. It's wild, which is, you know.
Which, I mean, we're going to get to this because this is going to be a long episode.
Should we do how we escape this?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only thing that was getting me through the movie, thinking I'm going to hear about how Appo's going to escape this.
This is hard. This is a real hard one.
But also,
Yeah.
Danny's finding red flags from the get-go.
Yes.
You see people jump off a cliff and they're saying, nah, you know, it's beautiful. At the end, they don't want to get old. And 70 is not, like, if you're living good, you're living good for another 10 years.
You seen Stallone? I mean, he's popping with juice, but he's bench pressing more than I can even.
But that's
sniff.
right. He hasn't even got the spring water with the, you know,
I mean, he's probably got other things.
a bit of Parmesan or whatever.
I mean, he's probably got a bit of Parmesan as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, you seen that, and Danny's going, nah, this is. She said this is pagan situations.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. Danny knows the stuff.
Danny knows. You get out of there. You just start.
But what happens when the people do? This is where it gets hard.
I was thinking about how would I, because I mean, look, Christian is a dumb idiot.
Yep.
He's 100% because he's just looking at it and going, yeah, no, it's really bad. Yeah, no, this is terrible. Oh, look, all these people. Yeah.
He's an interesting character.
I think he was a good character in this movie in the
100%.
in the way that he was you could tell he was almost acting like he was trying to be there, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
And that could have been the mushrooms. That could have been the spring water.
That could have been the mushrooms. That could have been the trauma. That could have been the spring water.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that's hard about this movie. Wicker Man's a lot easier to escape. And I think it's because like heads were from the 70s and like you don't see them actively using tactics outside of just like grabbing a man and putting him into a Wicker Man. Like these guys are using drugs. These guys are using, you know, the dead of the night, which is not night,
For like 15 minutes.
for like 15 minutes to do their biddies.
That's efficiency.
That's efficiency, right? These guys also have put you, like, the thing about our mate Mr. Howie from Wicker Man is he came there himself. He knows the exit routes. His plane doesn't work, but he knows the general direction of where he needs to go.
Yeah.
From this movie, from the start of when they get into Sweden, and which is great when there's that scene where the camera's upside down and things are all wild, is they're disorientated from the start.
Yeah.
It's just trees and roads, and then there's not even roads now, but there's trees.
There's trees.
So if you try to run out of there, you're not getting too far.
See, that's what I was thinking. Now, there was a comment about you guys getting service, but Will Poulter's watching videos.
Yeah, and when was Will Poulter watching videos?
When they saw the heads jump off the cliff and he didn't go.
He's watching videos.
He's watching videos. You can hear him. He's on his phone.
He was watching smart films.
Well, it was something about someone getting their frank chopped off. And it was something like that.
And he didn't like download them previously? You don't know.
No, I'm saying I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was thinking if you had some sort of service, and I'm sure, I mean, probably not, but also you can download Google Maps. Like Google Maps will download all your information.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
So they'll save that. So you know, you can at least see the sun. You know that it's north of Stockholm or whatever the place that they knew which way they were going from the entrance port.
Yeah.
Airport, dock, whatever they got.
And you saw the blue car is what you're thinking.
You saw the blue car.
The one blue car.
Now, not necessarily they're going to leave the keys in the car.
No.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
But also, it's daylight all the time, so you don't have to worry about people creeping up on you at night. You as soon as it's sunrise, I guess, you just dip. You find the general direction.
You take that 15 minutes of sundown to see where that sun is setting.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing.
Because that's when you know what location.
That's when you know.
Because you're in the
you have
northern
a better
hemisphere.
idea.
The sun sets in the west.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, it sets in the west. That's cowboy things.
Well, yeah, because it
Right into the sunset.
No, it sets in the west. No, it sets in the east. It sets in the west in.
It rises in the east.
Where? Here it rises.
I'm pretty sure in America it rises in the east and it sets in the west. That's why you ride off into the sunset in the west, in the old west.
I don't think you because.
Dude, I've watched. Listen to this. I've watched
but
Shanghai Noon, which may or may not be politically correct. I haven't seen it in a while. But here's the thing: they talk about, hey, look, you know, my son. You know, the sun may rise in the east and it sets in the west, but like we are one together. Me, a Western man, and you, an Eastern man. And that's what they say.
All right, let me have a look at this because now I'm sunset calculator.
Like either you go to Stockholm or you're going somewhere else in Sweden. I don't know what else is.
You're somewhere else in Sweden. That's the other thing because they're so far north. Maybe that's
the good thing is, well, I mean, part of it is.
I was just about to say the sun sets in the same location for everyone. The sun's only going once.
That's what I'm saying. It's setting in the west.
Yeah. As I was saying that, I was thinking about the spin of the Earth.
And look, it's an historic event. But here's what I want to talk about. All right.
So you could know a rough cut. I mean, look, you know, Danny's knowing that some crazy's going on. She doesn't know that she's going to be, you know, their savior or whatever.
Now they had to hike into there.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So really, even if you got the blue car, you're not getting far.
Yeah, but also they had to hike.
Not that far. There's cars where they were.
That's right.
So this is how you do it, right? We've talked many times on this podcast about fight, flight, and freeze.
Yeah.
But what we haven't talked about is fawn. And fawn is a very true and real response that can happen.
Fawn.
Fawn is like a response where, like, say if you scare me, I might be, or like I'm worried about our what's going to happen here. I'm worried about my safety. I might be super nice to you or very helpful to you.
Yeah.
So then I'm on your good side, and I know that maybe your anger will be directed, or your you know, the Donkey Kong hammer is going to be directed.
So you're
somewhere
being
else.
a sycophant.
I might be a sycophant. I can't remember what that means. So I'm going to come up to you. I'm going to be talking about, man, I can't believe this. So you're telling me. So he's 72, she's 72.
Hold on, can we go up there and I just want to see, because like, if I want to be a part of this community and I'm 72, I want to just see if I've got the right steps, if it's left, right, or if it's right, left.
Yeah.
And then you say, oh, it's left, right, and then you push them over and that's good night.
No.
Yeah.
No, you can't push them over.
Because then that's thrown off their whole situation. They're like, well, we can't do it now because he's not 72.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does, because it's in the book. Did you see the book? The red and the blue and the paint, all that paint? Because if you look at that carefully...
Yeah, but other people had died. And people are allowed to die.
Yeah, but...
You got to kill maybe 6, 7 if you want to make that work.
Oh, you got to kill more than the 9.
Than the 9.
Yeah, but...
Here's what I'm saying. Let me get into what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what's meant? Olaf, he jumped, right? Olaf jumped, right? But he landed on his legs. So you had to get the Donkey Kong hammer, you had to hit him. Dude, that's crazy. Let me just let me hold this Donkey Kong. Damn, the weight of this Donkey Kong hammer, pretty cool. Hey, look, here's your Donkey Kong hammer back. I'm not going to hit you with it because I'm with you here.
And then you kick him in the beans.
I want to be here till I'm 72. Right? Now I'm like, hey, listen, you know, I've seen the barley rigs, I've seen the corn rigs. How can I help? You want me to put? All right, I'll plant that foot
like a scarecrow. I'll do it.
See that foot? I'm going to plant that in the grass there. I'm going to help it. I know he's my friend, but I'm going to help you guys out. Okay. I see. Okay, I see this man's doing he's doing things that we can't talk about on this podcast. You know, let him go. Let him do it. You know, we're here. We're in Midsommar. Let's have fun with it.
Yeah, but you're one of these people.
Now I'm one of these people.
No, as in you're one of the.
I know I am, but that's going to keep me there the longest.
You're an anthropologist, man.
That's going to keep me there the longest.
Yeah.
Now mushrooms hurt my stomach, so I can't do mushrooms. Not even the tea.
Yeah, but they'll sneak something in.
So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, man, what's the Swedish man's name again?
Pele,
brother.
Pele.
You know what I realized?
Maradona was better, and then that's it.
And then you
He's
win.
distraught.
And then, you know, because I'm Pele's friend now.
Yeah.
So I say to him, Pele, you know what I realized? I had the Tsar back at the car. Like that, you know, that dang Zaza that we bought in Stockholm? I had that back at the car. I left it there.
They didn't go to Stockholm, though.
Yeah, but I quickly dipped to Stockholm. I came back. I got the syndrome. I came back, right? Here's the thing. Let's hike back out to the car. Let's go there, me and you. Don't worry about these other people. We're going to bring back the Tsar. You know, they're going to be mates with us after this because I'm fawning now. I'm friends with everyone.
Yeah, but Mans is what's his name? He's brainwashed. He's not doing anything that the book, the different colors are telling him.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm coming back, dude. We're gonna take Midsommar to the next level.
He's not going to believe that.
But we're going to feel like it's been 3 summers by the time we're off this Tsar, is what I'm saying. We walk back to the car. I'm like, dude, open up the trunk. Right? He opens up the trunk because that's where the Tsar is.
Yeah.
Bang. As he's elbow to the back of the head, right? Elbow to the back of the head. Grab the keys. Close the trunk. I'm driving out of there.
With him in the trunk.
He's in the trunk because I'm taking him to the police. And I'm telling him, tell these people what you told me about all this stuff going on back here. I seen 2 old people splatter. I seen one dude. I just seen a bear in a cage. A wooden cage. That can't be safe.
Call the
RSPCA.
Well, I don't think they have the RSPCA up there.
I mean, I'm sure there's a Swedish RSPCA.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You got to find that out first.
You know, and the police might not be doing anything, but definitely the RSPCA are going to come out with some signs.
Yeah,
and they'll start picketing.
Honestly,
they'll start picketing the Midsommar.
I'd say the RSPCA would be out there before the police.
That's all right.
Because the police is they've obviously. Well, I mean, I haven't done that before in modern times, but that's a lot of heads to go missing.
Now, trust me, I'm out of there from just doing that.
Yeah, I'm.
That's the only way you're getting out. You have to be as there as long as you can to direct your
I
love
think you
towards these
just
people.
start burning things.
You burn the yellow thing.
I just think you start burning things.
You burn the yellow thing early.
That's what I mean. You just start. I mean, there's flames everywhere.
Yeah,
they've got this. Hey, higher and hotter, and whatnot. You say, hey, oh man, oh sorry, I accidentally just lit your whole place on fire.
Oh, you burn down where they're all sleeping.
No.
Is that what you're saying? No, because I'll do that.
Not when they're sleeping.
I'll do it when they're sleeping. If it's me or the people sleeping.
Yeah. See,
guess who's gonna be sleeping longer?
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. And also, like, it works in their favor. Like, they'll get apples next year.
You wanted 9 sacrifices? Bro, I'll give you 90.
But in saying that, you got to find just where the adults are sleeping. Because like we ain't working with others. We can't.
Well, I'm not doing any of that. I'm just saying I'll burn their little yellow hut before
and that sex building as well.
Yeah, but you didn't know that before.
Yeah, but I'll burn it just because it looks good.
Yeah,
and that would be sad because that had some engineering in that.
Engineering, yeah. Liquid engineering. Yeah, I think there's ways.
It's hard though
because you're not on an island. It's not Summer's Isle. You don't have to start swimming.
No, you're not on an island. But if you start getting physical early, they're spraying you with that stuff that turned that man paralyzed. Yeah. And like that's
I don't think that turned him paralyzed. I think they just fully cooked him, and then now they did. Hey, spinal cord snip.
Yeah, dude, they snipped it. Dude. That's the stuff that's scary about this movie. They got the keys to like put someone on their knees. You know what I mean?
The keys to put someone on their knees.
All right, can I just hit you with the final part of this? That was Midsommar. And this has been the Bang.
Talk soon.